and welcome to my vlog. My name is Erin and today we're going to be talking about what if you hate your work and other questions that I've been asked. Number 1, what if I hate my own work? This question was asked by Sierra Booker, who is one of my Facebook page followers. She was asking me and I figured that other people might have similar questions. Self-doubt, intense personal criticism, and outright loathing of your work has probably happened to the best of us. Writing a book is an incredibly difficult thing, and it is also super emotionally vulnerable. You are pouring your heart and soul into a project that is then going to be released out into the wild, where you have to hope that it's going to find people who will love it and not people who will roast it on a spit. Spoiler alert, your book will probably find both kinds of people. Hating your work is very, very normalized in the writing community. I have heard from some people that if you deign to like your own work, you will never grow as a creator. Newsflash! Liking something does not blind you to its flaws. Being proud of your work is important. You did a hard thing and you are allowed to feel pride into the time and effort and skill that you put into your craft. Repeat after me. The first draft is the worst my book will ever be. When you have a first draft, you do not have a book. It is the base of what your book will become. You wouldn't line up all the ingredients and be like, ah yes, this is my cake, because it's not a cake yet. It is the base of a cake. Your first draft is an infant. It is the larval stage of your book, and that beauty has a long way to go before it's gonna be a butterfly. But rest assured, it will become a butterfly, but you have to put in the time and effort to make that happen. Your first draft is gonna be put through the ringer. It will go under the scrutiny of beta readers and critique partners and editors. An editor is not negotiable, by the way. If you're going traditional, your publisher will provide that, but if you are self-publishing, that is on you. If you get up to the release of your book and you think that it's trash, ask yourself why. Did you skip the review steps? Did you rush your later drafts? If you did everything you're supposed to, if you know that you put in the effort, then breathe easy. Things are probably fine and you're just being overly critical of yourself. But if you skipped important steps, then why are you trying to release a book that is not the best you can make it? Number 2, what if I'm afraid to give my work to betas? Oh, my sweet summer child! To quote Carrie Fisher, stay afraid, but do it anyway. The beta reader experience can be a struggle. I will link my video about that below so you don't get blindsided when you go into it. But even so, it is an essential part of the process. You are controlling the narrative here. You have the power to decide who reads your book. You can answer questions and clarify things in this process. These are not luxuries that you have once your book is published. If there are major issues with your work, you need to know as soon as possible so you can fix them. Beta readers are your first line of defense. You can be nervous, absolutely, but you still have to do this process. Your betas should be as diverse as your potential readership, which means that you will have a ton of viewpoints all working together to make your book better. If you can't get past this hurdle or you feel like you're not ready, then you're gonna have a really hard time with a writing career. Number 3, how do I know if I'm good enough to write something? Well, won't know unless you try. That being said, I do not recommend that new writers undertake a series for your debut. Series are significantly more work, they are more complicated, and it is a lot to handle for a first-time writer. My advice would be to stick to a standalone book when you're starting out. If there's a really ambitious project that you want to work on but you feel like your skills aren't up to it yet, then work on something simpler first. You can't get better if you don't practice, and no amount of aging is going to improve your craft if you are not also writing during that time and gaining life experience. Once you've finished one project to full completion, then you can assess your skills. It's hard to know where you're at if you're just picking up and putting down a dozen whips trying to find something that works. Writing the opening and a few other scenes is not going to be an accurate depiction of your ability to carry out a full story. If there's a big project that you have in mind, there is nothing wrong with letting it stew on the back burner for a while. I had one story idea that sat on these sidelines for a decade before I seriously picked it up again. It is currently sitting on hiatus after 2 drafts and a beta round, because I'm still not at the point where I feel like I can do it justice. While I'm waiting to get to that point, I am writing and completing other books. And I will just check back in periodically to see if my skills have gotten to the point where I'm ready to tackle that behemoth. I don't personally consider it a waste of time. But if you are writing as a career when you're doing this, then you're going to have to be a lot more judicious with how you spend your time. Number 4, what if my family hates my work? Well, the good news, of a sort, is that your family doesn't have to like your work. Vast majority of writers that I have spoken to, their families either have minimal or zero interest in their writing. So if you have family that is interested and supportive of your writing in any way, you are in the minority of writers that I've talked to. If your family cares enough to read, but you're worried that they won't like the topic or the characters or the language that you use, then you don't have to let them read it. Being interested in your work does not obligate you to give it to someone to read. You always have the choice of not telling them that you're writing a book, or that you would prefer to wait until the book is at a later stage, or that they read once the book is already published. Regardless, even despite your best efforts, your book might not be their cup of tea. Not every reader is going to vibe with your story, and that's okay because we are all unique and complex individuals with our own tastes. The good news is that you don't need family support to be a success. It's a very nice thing to have, but it is not a necessity. Your talent and your story is yours, no matter what your family thinks. Number 5, what if I get bad reviews? I mean, it's gonna happen. Even your favorite book of all time has bad reviews. There is no piece of media that is universally loved, so do not put that pressure on yourself. You'll get good reviews and bad reviews and meh reviews. The temptation to read your reviews is going to be there, but remember that they are there for the reader, not the author. Also, there are trolls. Some people will rate a book 1 star without ever having read it, without having any idea what it's about. They just feel like being a dick. They will mark it as shit, move on with their lives, leaving you devastated in their wake. It'll be okay. Definitely don't get into fights with reviewers. That is never going to turn out well for anybody. Now granted, I'm approaching this question as if you have not written something that is horribly racist or homophobic or transphobic, etc. Because if you have, then you deserve those bad reviews. Now, that is all the questions I have, but I have not forgotten about last week's giveaway! The winner was A.S. Howell, graciously selected by a handy number generator. Congratulations! Hit me up on any of my social media with your address so I can send you my book. A.S. Howell is also a YouTuber, so I will put her channel in the description below. So that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give this video a like and don't forget to subscribe. If you'd like to be notified as soon as I upload, then ring that bell. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below or hit me up on any of my social media. Both of my books, Olympian Confessions, Hades and Persephone, and Olympian Confessions, Hera, are available now in ebook and paperback. If you'd like your book to be critiqued by me, you can check out my new critique service. You can check out all of those on my website below. If you've enjoyed my videos or learned something from them, consider being part of my Patreon family. And I will see you all next week with another video. Bye!